Hey guys, this is Chris Mortimer from Yacht Zero Yacht Acquisition Advisors, where we make sure that our clients buy the right boats at the lowest price and make sure they're told all of the things that a seller or a broker typically doesn't want them to know. We have a tool on our website called the Yacht Calculator, which helps you to determine the true price to buy any yacht. Now, working in the yacht acquisitions aspect of the industry, we see a lot of boats while we're out on the water. You've watched Hull Over Inlet, you've watched plenty of content online. In fact, I have one client who says, Chris, I don't watch porn, I just look at boats. And we say, okay man, whatever works for you. And there's some days we get sick of looking at boats. But right now, we are gonna share with you what we're seeing out on the water and a little bit of a sneak peek as to some of the analytics and trends that you don't know about. So here in our first episode, we wanna talk about what are the boats, how much do they cost? How much do they cost to charter? What are the special features, the alternatives, and the analytics that you need to know? So first up on our list is Crash, a 2020 Pershing 8X that we saw while down in Miami. While this boat in particular isn't for sale, we know there's a similar boat on the market asking $5.2 million and a few others available on the market to charter for $8,000 per day. When you look at this chart here of the Pershing 8Xs on the market in the USA, there doesn't appear to be any smoking deals or outliers here, but there is a gigantic gap when you jump to the predecessor model in the Pershing 82 VHPs. When we look at the historical trends, it takes Pershing and these Pershing 8Xs specifically about 2/3 of a year to sell, while this model normally sells at 5.12% below the asking price, where Pershings typically sell about 15% below their ask. While I love and many other buyers of Pershings love how the staircase is recessed into the exterior design to give it a really clean look, the cockpit is a great social layout, and obviously the gray paint, which makes it hot, it makes the boat look like a bullet out on the water. Add that by throwing off the rooster tail off the back, and a Pershing 8X is an awesome boat. If you're in the market to buy one of these, you might be considering an Azimuth S8, you might be considering a Princess S78, or you might consider looking into something like a 2020 Sunseeker 74 Sport Bridge. At number 2 on our list, we pass by Ambitious in Fort Lauderdale, a 72 Ocean Alexander pilot house. While this one is not available to purchase, there's one other similar vintage year OA72 on the market asking $2.35 and a few older ones listed just under $2 million. These boats have a really great open galley concept, a super sleek lower helm, and a really tastefully appointed master bath that you're gonna love. As for the numbers on these boats, these 72 models take about double the amount of time to sell as Ocean Alexanders across the board do, and they sell under their asking price below what Ocean Alexanders normally do. I can't really tell you why that is, but we would love if anyone in the comments who's possibly ran them, owned them, or knows anything about it, maybe some of the quirks that make these boats a little tougher to sell. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find anything online about any of these boats that are available for charter, but we do have a lot of information to pass along to you if you are considering buying an Ocean Alexander 72 or an alternative like a Hatteras 75 Panacea, an Outer Reef 72, or a Marlowe 70E. At number 3, this is our first big boat in the segment, and this is Natural 9, a 121 Sunseeker that we passed towing its jet ski on the way out to a day out on Biscayne Bay in Miami. The boat is currently for sale, asking $8.5 million, and it is available to charter for about $120,000 a week before expenses. We would love to be the guys to put you into that charter if you are interested in that. What you have to know about this is there's 7 other available Sunseeker 121s on the global market, and buyers love the fact that the tri-deck has a jacuzzi. It's one of the shortest, smallest tri-decks you see before you eclipse 130, and the functionality on the bow of these boats is really unique for a boat in this class. It gives you a ton of volume, and while we look at our advanced analytics available on our website once you finish this video, it gives us some really good insight as to what this boat could really be purchased for. And the same offer goes if you're in the market for something similar like a San Lorenzo SD 126, a Westport 130, or a Benetti 121. As for the rest of the numbers on Natural 9, it looks like it's priced pretty reasonably, against the market competition, and it's important to know that these Sunseeker 121s have ended up selling for 19.71% below their asking price, after spending about a third of the year on the market. With so many available, we would imagine there might be some negotiation there for you to leverage against the seller. Again, I encourage you to reach out to the Yacht Zero team and use the yacht calculator to try and get a better feel for what you should be paying for any boat you're considering buying. At number 4, we have another Sunseeker found down in Miami. It's a 2015 Sunseeker 75 named Start Me Up, which interestingly enough seems to be flying a US flag but has a Jamaican hailing port on the back, so we're a little confused as to what's going on here. A few of our clients have had Sunseeker 75s, and we learned almost all of their goods and all of their bads. And these boats are typically selling around $2 million, and we see that there's a few that can be chartered for $6,000 per day, and to validate that this might be the boat for you, it's definitely some expense worth spending. So these boats typically take about a half a year to sell, and they end up selling at about 6% under their asking price. They have 4 staterooms, a nice on-deck galley, and a really great flybridge and functional bow setup, as opposed to the older models which just had the sun pad up on the bow. So if you're in the market to buy one of those, we encourage you to reach out to us. We also encourage you to check out a 75-foot Princess, a Ferretti, or even a 76 San Lorenzo if you have a little bit more of an Italian flair in you. At number 5, we have the Rolls Royce of American yachting, a Westport 125 named Flamingo Days that we passed while sailing up in Fort Lauderdale. While this beauty isn't for sale or charter, there are 3 similar Westport 125s, all asking north of $22 million. These 125 models tend to go quickly and faster in terms of Westports as a whole, as they take about 118 days to sell and sell about 9.83% below their asking price. The timeless design of the exterior, the salon, the full beam master are just a few of our favorites, and the fact that some of these Westports look more modern but still contemporary allows them to hold their value very well. If you're in the market for a Westport 125, you gotta check out our advanced analytics waiting for you at our website, and we'd be happy to help you with alternative considerations such as a Dutch-built Moon 124, a custom line 127, or even something like a Hargrave 120. The 6th boat on our list is Westport's cousin next door, the Canadian Crescent, and a 2020 named Crescent Lady, a 117. She's asking just under $8.5 million, and with not many other options for comparison or charter, the boat has a strikingly modern interior for a North American boat. The galley is uniquely laid out, where essentially the galley is running up the side, providing for a big seating area on the starboard side. The master's great, and again, the paneling across the entire boat is very, very modern. With Crescent not being the biggest household name in the yachting industry, you might want to look into buying something like a Westport 117, a Ferretti Custom Line 120, or a Hargrave 120. The 7th boat on our list, as we're sailing in Fort Lauderdale, was a little bit in the distance, but it's an incredibly beautiful Dutch-built Mulder named Q43. We don't happen to know much about this boat from what we were able to find in line, but we're really intrigued, and we encourage you to check out some of the other Mulders on the market, such as Soulmates and Solace, or to even consider chartering Delta One. When we look at the profile and the interior appointments for this pedigree, this is something that within the circles of the yachting community is really special. You say, why is it so expensive in comparison to other boats? Well, the Dutch, when they build their boats, they kill people when they make mistakes on the assembly line. So a big part of that cost is the lawsuits that go into building it. And when you're at the top of the food chain, you tend to appreciate stuff like that. For other builders that might be a little bit more well known and that we have some more advanced analytics and insights on, you might want to look into a 2023 Moon 110 called Midnight Saga, the 2016 Fedship 110 called Great Cliffs, or you might even consider a Westport 117 if this is a boat that works for you. The 8th boat in this episode is essentially a Horizon 102 in Fort Lauderdale called Kismet. It's another tri-deck that clients tend to absolutely love. It's probably the smallest tri-deck that is built right now, because typically the higher up you go in a smaller frame, it tends to distort comfort and stability on board. While this boat is not for sale, we do see that there's one available to charter for $95,000 a week plus expenses. While Horizon yachts typically take 231 days to sell, these happen to have only taken 72 days to sell and sell right close to their asking price. So this is one of those boats that when it comes available, you better be prepared to move very quickly on it. Speaking of moving quickly, it's a big boat that has a fast displacement hull, and the bow and the bridge have great functional space, and the salon is rather stunning for an Asian built boat. Whichever Horizon you're looking to buy, let's be sure to look through the numbers in detail on our website. If you are interested in this boat but want alternatives, I would definitely look at the Ocean Alexander 32L, a San Lorenzo 106, or dare we say a Riva Corsaro 102. There's a lot that can be done to ensure that you make the right decision when buying any boat. Be sure to implement checklists, get consultants to tell you what you need to hear, what you want to hear. We really just need you to have a great experience, because there's very few people in the world that can afford to enjoy yachting, and there's a very prevalent amount of people that get into it that realize that sometimes it's not as good as they hoped it and dreamt it would be, because the people around them sometimes make it challenging. So again, we're trying to put you on the right path, set the right expectations. We want to encourage anyone who's out on the water. We want to see your videos and share them with the world. If you're captain and crew, we appreciate and know how hard the work you do is. And if you have owners that trust you in buying a boat, we really want to work with you guys as well to make sure that you could deliver a great experience for the owners. So this is our first episode of Boats on the Water. We hope you enjoyed it. We really have the best job in the world, and we really want to share with the world all of the stuff we get to see, because we never want to take it for granted. If you can do me a favor and you could like, comment, and subscribe on this video, that is truly appreciated, as more visibility helps my growing team find more people that are looking for really quality sound advisory when buying their boats. If you can, head over our website as well, and be sure to use the Yacht Zero yacht calculator tool and check out a numerous amount of resources that we have available to people, no matter what boat they're buying, where they're buying it. We just want to make sure that we do a good job so they trust us to buy every yacht they ever have again in their future. So thanks so much to my team for helping me to make this video. A great group of collective misfits that just want to make sure that people enjoy their time out on the water and they're treated properly. Until next time, happy yachting, my friends.